tylko włączam relację i myślę, że zaraz wszystko będzie dobrze szło. Jeżeli macie jakieś pytania, to oczywiście można zadawać je teraz na czacie, później będziemy na nie odpowiadać po naszym krótkim wstępie, natomiast cały czas można to robić, także dobra. Dobrze, to ja w takim razie idę do naszego share'a. Okej. Sekundkę. Dobrze. Więc tak jak tutaj jesteśmy na naszym pierwszym slajdzie, chciałam Wam powiedzieć, że my oczywiście nazywamy się Global Education. Ja nazywam się Agnieszka i dzisiaj reprezentuję naszą organizację. Nasza pomoc jest darmowa, też nie podpisujemy z Wami żadnych dodatkowych umów, także jeżeli chcielibyście w trakcie aplikacji zrezygnować, również nie ma żadnego problemu. No i pomoc jest darmowa. Dobrze, tutaj przerzucę kilka slajdów, bo myślę, że już na takie rzeczy to raczej... O, dobrze. Jeżeli chodzi o studia w Anglii, chciałabym Wam przekazać takie główne informacje. Po pierwsze, jeśli chodzi o takie podstawowe plusy, jakie wynikają ze studiów na UCLAN i na innych uczelniach, to to, że biblioteki i pracownie są otwarte 24 godziny na dobę. Poza tym, jeżeli chodzi o sprzęt elektroniczny i takie przygotowanie do studiów, to uczelnie są bardzo praktyczne i oferują również bardzo dużo wymian zagranicznych i staży. I tak, jeśli chodzi o wymaganiach, to zaraz Tom więcej Wam opowie dokładnie, jakie są na UCLAN. Jeżeli chodzi o to, jak wygląda aplikacja, to na początku ważny jest wybór kierunku oraz uczelni i my w tym pomagamy. Później pomagamy również z wysłaniem podania UCAS, z przygotowaniem wszystkich informacji na UCASie. Następnie sprawdzamy list motywacyjny i referencje językowo i jeżeli chodzi o tekst. Także i gramatykę, i sposób budowania myśli, budowania całego tekstu sprawdzamy jak najbardziej i zalecamy sobie odłożyć tak 2 tygodnie na list motywacyjny i referencje. Potem jak już wyślemy podanie, to pomagamy z wnioskiem o pożyczkę. I jeżeli ktoś już wysłał podanie, to wnioski o pożyczkę są dostępne, także zapraszam do tego, żeby o tą pożyczkę zaaplikować. Tutaj taki screen z UCAS-a, tak to wygląda. Jeżeli chodzi o najbliższy deadline, to jest to deadline 30 czerwca i chcielibyśmy do tego dnia skończyć, wysłać wszystkie aplikacje, więc jeżeli ktoś z Was jeszcze tej aplikacji nie złożył i zastanawia się cały czas nad wyborem studiów, to zachęcam do tego, żeby jak najszybciej się decydować. I tak, jeśli chodzi o list motywacyjny, to to jest taki jakby Wasza karta przetargowa, jeśli chodzi o studia, dlatego że jest to tekst, w którym tłumaczycie, dlaczego jesteście idealnymi kandydatami na dany kierunek studiów. No i uczelnie bardzo rzetelnie czytają te listy, także zalecamy słuchać się poradników. My mamy takie poradniki odnośnie i UCAS-a, i listu motywacyjnego, i referencji, więc zalecamy czytać je dokładnie, bo po prostu potem te listy będą lepsze. No i referencje to jest taki kolejny ważny element aplikacji. Referencje wystawia nauczyciel. Zwykle jest to nauczyciel języka angielskiego, ale może być to każdy inny nauczyciel. I również jeżeli chodzi o referencje, sprawdzamy je i merytorycznie, i językowo. I tutaj jeżeli chodzi o nauczyciela, zwykle jest to nauczyciel angielskiego bądź korepetytor z angielskiego, ale może być to również każdy inny nauczyciel. My mamy bardzo fajne wademekum nauczyciela i poradniki i tam bardzo dużo informacji jest odnośnie tego, jak ten tekst powinien wyglądać. Troszkę o kosztach studiów, przede wszystkim o pożyczce. Pożyczka jest dofinansowywana, jeśli chodzi o wszystkie uniwersytety i wszystkie kierunki. No i można ją uzyskać, jeżeli już się ma swój firm choice wybrany, swoją główną uczelnię. Nie ma się żadnych ukończonych studiów licencjackich i jest się obywatelem Unii Europejskiej. I spłaca się pożyczka dopiero po studiach, co jest bardzo wygodne, w momencie, kiedy przekroczy się próg zarobkowy. I spłaca się jedynie 9% od nadwyżki od tego progu, więc to jest bardzo mało i też ta pożyczka nie jest oprocentowana. Jeśli chodzi o życie studenckie, zaraz Tom na pewno powie Wam więcej w tym temacie. Natomiast to, co jest istotne z naszej strony, to to, że zajęcia na uczelni są bardzo praktyczne. i dzielą się na seminars, tutorials, lectures i labs. I te zajęcia wszystkie są tworzone w bardzo małych grupach, także jak będziecie przychodzić na zajęciach, to nauczyciel, wykładowca będzie prowadził w grupach 10, 15, maksymalnie 20 osób. No i tak, lectures to są takie wykłady typowe, seminars to są takie zajęcia jeszcze w mniejszych grupkach, na tutorialach można się dopytać, jak czegoś nie rozumiecie, a labsy to są takie zajęcia bardzo, bardzo praktyczne, zwykle na kierunkach ścisłych, ale też na fotografii i na przykład na dziennikarstwie mediowym też jest. Też takie zajęcia są jak laboratoria. Tutaj takie porównanie planu, to jest plan zajęć na polskiej uczelni, a tutaj na brytyjskiej, także widzicie, ile będzie więcej czasu. Przykłady societies, zaraz Tom też więcej Wam opowie o tym, jakie mogą być societies na studiach w Anglii. No i takie bardzo ważne podsumowanie, czyli pogodzenie studiów i pracy. Generalnie można spokojnie pracować na studiach w Anglii. Ja sobie też to bardzo cenię, dlatego że jak wyjeżdżacie na studia, chcecie się często sami już utrzymywać, a zajęcia w Wielkiej Brytanii trwają około 15 godzin w tygodniu, więc spokojnie można znaleźć sobie czas na pracę i też na jakieś dodatkowe hobby, dodatkowe zajęcia. I też pracodawcy są elastyczni bardzo, także to jest duży plus. No i są career centers, student centers, które umożliwiają zdobycie pracy. Też mogą Wam pomóc osoby pracujące tam w budowaniu swojego CV, co jest mega, mega wygodne. Kwaterowanie, akademik, mieszkanie, takie dwie podstawowe opcje. Natomiast jeszcze też tak bardzo szybko, jeśli chodzi o kierunki studiów w Anglii, to jest ich ponad 50 000, taka ciekawostka. Także jakbyście mieli, wiem, że to jest czasami trudne, żeby dokonać odpowiedniego wyboru. No i nasi studenci na całym świecie. Tutaj są zdjęcia naszych studentów, którzy podróżują, wyjeżdżali, pracują i w ogóle robią masę różnych ciekawych rzeczy. W naszej zakładce studia w Anglii jest trochę więcej informacji. Ja na razie zastopuję szerowanie. Dobrze, jeżeli macie jakieś pytania, to piszcie teraz, ja potem odpowiem. No, a teraz Tom myślę, że więcej będzie mógł Wam powiedzieć. Okay, Tom, so I just finished my part, and now I think we may switch to your presentation.
Sure, no problem. I'll just bring that up for you 1 second.
Yep, just a second, and I will share a screen with yours.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I'm just going to run through a brief presentation about my university, UCLAN, short for University of Central Lancashire. When I've finished, I'll answer any questions that you might have as well. Just to let you know, I actually studied at UCLAN from 2010 to 2013, so I can kind of talk to you as a former student as well as now an employee of the university. So just to give you a bit of background information about the university, excuse me. As you can see there, we've been a leading modern university since 1828. So we've got a long-standing tradition of delivering high-quality education. In the recent university rankings, we were the UK's biggest riser. We moved up the rankings 27 places, now ranking 75th out of 131 institutions. We're the 5th largest university in the UK, and that is in terms of the size of the personnel, the people, with 35,000 students and staff. And we are very much a global university. We have students from all over the world. As you can see, there are 120 different nationalities. This is a really, really important thing for an international student because it shows you that we are used to welcoming people from different areas of the world. And it shows that our academic staff are used to teaching people from different educational backgrounds and different languages. Not only that, it gives you the opportunity to meet people from places that you've never been, places that you never thought you would meet people from. It's really amazing when I speak to some of our international students. and they can't believe they've got a friend that comes from the other side of the world, and often when they graduate, they stay in contact. And we've been recognised as well as the northwest of England's top university for producing graduate startup businesses, ranked third in the UK overall. What I mean by that is, obviously, this day and age, quite often when students graduate, they don't want to find employment. They want to create their own employment. Obviously, it's a lot easier these days with things like social media and the internet to start your own business. We have a department called Propeller, and Propeller helps students and graduates. You can still access this service once you've left the university, to start their own business and make that business profitable. So you can really, rather than finding a job, you can create your own job. So that's a really exciting part of the university. Moving on to this next slide here. As you can see, we're making huge investments in our facilities in what we're calling the master plan. Now, the master plan is a £200 million investment on our campus. And most of these buildings that we are creating on the campus are student focused, and they're really going to help to enhance the student experience. The Engineering Innovation Centre, or EIC as we call it, is already built. It's a state-of-the-art teaching and research facility, in particular for engineering purposes, engineering courses. There's not many staff rooms in this building. It's purely about students' education and really high quality classroom spaces. You've got everything in there from aerospace engineering to motorsport engineering, civil engineering. It's a really exciting building. In the middle, social spaces. This is a really important factor for international students. Obviously, it can be quite scary coming to a new country, a new language, a new culture, and often students worry about meeting people. This is nothing to worry about, and we've made it even easier to meet new people by creating lots of different social spaces on our campus. And this helps to encourage students to leave their bedrooms and go and meet people, maybe have a game of pool, a coffee, maybe do some work. There's plenty of different things that you can do. We've even got some social spaces that have PlayStations and Xboxes, that kind of thing. So it really encourages students to meet people and socialize. Finally, the Student Centre. This is due to be ready next year, and it's essentially a huge new building which is just for you guys, just for the students, and it's going to contain every kind of office and building that will help make your experience here at the university even better. So the UCLAN experience, quite often when I talk about UCLAN, people say, where is it? I say it's in Preston, and they say, where's Preston? So just to give some context to that, Preston is a small city in between Liverpool and Manchester in the northwest of England. It's a small city with a really multicultural population. You'll find actually in Preston, you can find every kind of cuisine that you could wish to eat. And there's even quite a few Polish supermarkets, which our European students really enjoy. If you do want to visit other cities and get a bigger city experience, Preston's a great place to start because the national train line runs directly through Preston Station, which is 10 minutes from our campus. So you can visit Manchester and Liverpool in 40 minutes, London in a couple of hours, and up to Scotland as well in a couple of hours too. So it's very good to hear, obviously, my side of the story, my opinion on UCLAN and on Preston, but here's the students' opinion. So we've got a few Polish students here who've told us a little bit about their experience so far. So Preston is a nice city. It's not that big, but that's good because everything is close and it's convenient. It's worth coming here because you get the chance to meet people from all over the world, improve your English, and it's a very good experience to study abroad. Agnieszka, my first impressions on arrival at UCLAN were so different from my expectations. It was not what I imagined, but better. I was instantly welcomed and felt included. And finally, my advice to you if you're thinking of studying at UCLAN is don't stress too much. Give yourself specific goals, be open to new people and new culture. Get out of your bedroom because there's plenty to do with societies, clubs and social events. So some reasons why you might want to choose UCLAN. Guaranteed accommodation. So for all new students, you're guaranteed accommodation on campus. It's a city centre campus, and you can stay in your accommodation with us for 3 years or however long your course is. We don't just say after 1 year you have to find a new accommodation. You're guaranteed that accommodation throughout. Our graduates are in high demand. So UCLAN graduates, 95% of UCLAN graduates either find new work, new education or a new job within 6 months of graduating. So there's plenty of opportunity for employment. A low cost of living, because it's a small city, the cost of living is low, and also away from the capital city of London, it's less expensive as well. Because we are a small city and the university takes up a big area of the city centre, a lot of Preston is focused on students and student living. Outstanding student support, whether that's with work or health or mental health or any kind of problem you might have, we have a support network for that. It's a safe city. A lot of our students comment that even when they leave the library late at night, they feel safe. And we even offer things like a free taxi service for students leaving the library late at night to make sure you get back to your accommodation. Obviously, the £200 million investment that I've spoken about. We have an Oasis Faith and Spirituality Centre. If you are a particularly religious person, you have the option to visit our faith centre. You have a free sports centre membership, so you can go there whenever you want. We have a gym, we have exercise classes, football, basketball, tennis, badminton, dance, lots of different sports, and that's all for free. You can also learn a new language for free on the side of your studies. So you might want to learn, I don't know, Spanish, German, Chinese. You can enroll on a free course while you're studying your normal course as well. And we have a well-connected campus, so you can walk from one side of our campus to the other in 10 minutes, depends if you're a fast walker or not. So these are our entry requirements for Poland. The entry requirement for our undergraduate programs is an overall 70%, and you would also need 70% in your English or an IELTS 6 or something to that equivalent. For master's level, a GPA of at least 4, or if you study your undergraduate in the UK, what we would call a 2-1, and a 6.5 IELTS. If you don't meet the 70% overall, you could look at one of our foundation courses, which is just an extra year on your course, which would allow you to start foundation, complete that year before you start year 1. So I'm sure we might have a lot of questions about COVID-19, which I am happy to answer in more detail. But at the moment, it is business as usual at UCLAN. We will be using the full range of teaching options for the new September semester. And that means it could be digital and online classes. We will still be doing face-to-face normal lectures and seminars, but with some precautions and social distancing in place. So there's nothing to worry about. Your education will not be affected. We do have a website there at the bottom for frequently asked questions about COVID-19 for all applicants and inquiries. So it's worth having a look at there and refreshing that every week to see what the developments are. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. If you do want to follow us on Facebook, that's our link there, and also our website. But yeah, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. So we have several questions on our Q&A session. So first one is, if I choose to study psychology at your university, can I learn additional languages, for example, Russian?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So if you're studying psychology, we have what we call the WorldWise Learning Centre. The WorldWise Learning Centre offers free language classes to our students, so it's completely separate from your degree program, and it just offers you the opportunity to learn something like a new language. Every Wednesday at the university, there's no classes, no teaching in the afternoon, and this is because we leave that Wednesday afternoon available for students to work on maybe a new language or socialize, join societies and clubs, or do sport as well. So Wednesday afternoons are always free for students to work on something other than their course and their studies.
Okay, great. And we have the second question. Are there opportunities for working while studying?
Yes, definitely. So a few of our students work on campus. But like I said before, our campus is like a small village. So we have things like Starbucks, supermarkets, various different cafes. So there are opportunities to work on the campus in those kind of jobs. Because we're based in the city centre, some students work at other businesses off campus, like Subway, or maybe in a clothing shop or something like that. So there's opportunities in the city centre. And as well, my department, the international team, we actually do hire international students to help us with things like marketing and promotions. So you can become a student ambassador, and you actually will get paid to work for the university as well.
Okay, thank you. I can speak a bit in Polish for our attendees. Dobrze, słuchajcie, tak jak widzicie, kolejne pytania lecą. Natomiast tak po polsku jeszcze szybko powiem, że jak najbardziej zawsze jest taka możliwość, aby pracować na studiach. I bardzo dużo uczelni właśnie umożliwia taką sytuację, aby pracować jako student ambassador. Także taka praca jest na wielu uczelniach. I wtedy studiujecie i możecie reprezentować uczelnię na różnych targach, na spotkaniach, tak jakby ją reklamować i na tym można całkiem też sporo zarobić. Jak wejdziecie na naszą stronę, którą właśnie podlinkowałam, to w historiach naszych studentów i na naszym blogu są opisy studentów, którzy właśnie zaczęli taką pracę jako student ambassador, także zalecam sobie przejrzeć, dużo jest takich opcji, a my wracamy teraz do pytań. Okay, so next question for us is, what if I don't meet requirements, but there's no foundation year option for program I choose? For example, I only have 60% of extended English.
So if you don't meet the English requirement through your academic studies in school, you can take other tests, like, for example, the IELTS test that I mentioned earlier, and you would need to get a 6.0 overall. So there are other options. There's not just IELTS as well, there are some other tests that you can do. But I'm sure the guys here at Global Education can help you with that. If there's no foundation on the course that you're looking for, you can send us an email and we can try and find a foundation course in a similar program for you that might match up to the course that you want to study. So our email to send questions like that is international@uclan.ac.uk. If you just explain the situation, and we will try to accommodate you and help you find the right path.
Okay, Tom, could you type the email?
Yeah, sure, in the chat.
On chat, I think it would be very comfortable for the attendees. Okay, we have also the next questions. Ja też jeszcze po polsku Wam trochę wtrącę. Jeżeli jest taka sytuacja, że nie spełniacie w pełni wymogów uczelni, to zawsze jest taka opcja jak Foundation Year w bardzo wielu kierunkach. I też poza tym dużo uczelni ma własne wewnętrzne testy z angielskiego. Także też tutaj nie ma się czym nadto przejmować. Bardzo dużo uczelni decyduje się właśnie na taki tekst wewnętrzny i wtedy można do niego podejść i mieć kolejną szansę zdania egzaminu z angielskiego. Okay, Is there a possibility to have two courses simultaneously? For example, engineering and physics.
So we don't do combined honours courses like in that respect, where you can kind of choose two different subjects. However, we do often have some crossover with subjects. So, for example, we do like law and criminology in one course. We do things like you can learn a language with international business, so you can pair a language with things like international business. So there isn't an option where you can choose two specific subjects and make them into one. However, we do have some courses that are kind of crossed over into two areas. I'm not sure, I don't think we have one that crosses over between engineering and physics. My advice to that particular student would be think about what career you really aspire to and what your dream job is, and then think which course, engineering or physics, is going to get you to that job more effectively.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Great. Someone also asked us, will there be online lessons in 2022? In 2022, I think no one knows about it.
No, at the moment we're just kind of concentrating on the next academic year. I would imagine there would be some sort of normality by then. However, I don't know how this pandemic is going to end. So we are trying our best at the moment to have as much face-to-face contact with professors as possible. But obviously we're going to have to use some kind of digital education as well, some online education. By 2022, yeah, who knows, hopefully not, but if we do, it certainly won't affect your education. And if you gain a degree whereby some of the classes have been taught in person and some of the classes have been taught online, it's still the same degree. It doesn't make a difference. You're still educated to the same level.
Okay, thank you. Tak, słuchajcie, jeżeli chodzi o to, jak wszystko wobec pandemii się rozwinie, tego nie wie niestety nikt. I tak jak w najbliższym roku będzie to prawdopodobnie wyglądało, to uczelnie będą dążyły do tego, żeby były normalne zajęcia, żeby nie było zajęć online. Natomiast nie mamy wiedzy co do roku 2022, także tutaj trudno cokolwiek powiedzieć. Natomiast zachęcam Was też, jeżeli się jakoś boicie, macie taki, troszeczkę boicie się tej całej sytuacji i nie wiecie, jak to się rozwinie, to zachęcam Was do obejrzenia na naszym YouTubie. Zaraz Wam podlinkuję naszego YouTuba, żeby obejrzeć bardzo fajne, motywacyjne filmiki od naszych studentów, którzy są już w Anglii i którzy bardzo kibicują temu, żeby to wszystko dobrze działało w najbliższym czasie. Też na naszym Instagramie i na naszym Facebooku są bardzo fajne filmiki motywacyjne, także zaraz Wam podlinkuję i zobaczycie. Okay, so we come back to questions. Is it possible to change major, for example, from psychology to criminology?
This really depends on your academic teachers, your academic tutors, because ultimately they will have to have that decision whether you can make the crossover between two courses. I think we do actually do psychology with criminology, so you could do a course that covers both. However, if you wanted to change course, it does happen. I think actually one of the Polish students that I included on my presentation slides, I think changed after one semester. So it's better to do it sooner rather than later. So don't wait till you've completed 1 year. If you know after one semester that maybe you might want to change course, speak to your academic tutor. They will have to agree it with the academic tutor of the other course, and hopefully we can accommodate that. But yeah, it is possible, but we kind of don't recommend it if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Tak jak słyszeliście, najlepiej w sprawach zmiany kierunku albo zmiany jakiegoś modułu przedmiotowego zgłosić się do personal tutora, czyli do osoby, która pomoże w razie, kiedy na uczelni macie jakiekolwiek problemy. Jeżeli czegoś nie rozumiecie albo chcielibyście trochę zmienić swoje zajęcia, to jak najbardziej taka osoba jak personal tutor będzie pomocna. I będzie mogła pomóc Wam w trakcie, jeżeli chcielibyście zmienić jakiś przedmiot, czy mielibyście jakiekolwiek problemy. Ja podlinkowałam Wam właśnie naszego Instagrama. Jeszcze napiszę tylko na dole nasz nick instagramowy, żebyście mogli sobie wejść i pooglądać, jeżeli chcielibyście. Też zachęcam Was, jeżeli chcecie zobaczyć więcej naszych filmików, to na YouTubie, na Snapie i na Facebooku oczywiście też są. Okay, the next question. What are the options for study abroad semester or a year? Where can I go?
So the possibilities with this are quite endless, really. We have a study abroad department, and they have students that are all over the world. So China, Australia, Europe, America. We have students that go to various different places on a study abroad year. So there are no real limits to that if you do want to study abroad. Some courses do include a study abroad year, particularly like languages courses, for example. Quite often in your third year, a lot of our courses offer a work placement year, so a year in industry where you can gain some knowledge and then you come back in year 4 to complete your studies. So that's quite a popular option for a lot of students, because then you obviously graduate with relevant experience and a degree. But if that's not a possibility for you, we do offer study abroad as well through a separate department. And like I said, the possibilities are kind of endless through that department. You can travel all over the world.
Okay, I see. So in fact, the opportunities are endless when it comes to studying abroad and doing internships abroad, I think. Słuchajcie, to też tyczy się każdego uniwersytetu. Uniwerki w UK mają niezliczoną liczbę, jeśli chodzi o możliwości studiów za granicą albo jakichś fajnych internshipów, które można podjąć. Także zachęcam wszystkich, którzy studiują, żeby wyjeżdżać i uczelnie w tym pomagają. Także to jest bardzo fajne, że właśnie wszystkie Career Affairs Student Centers pomagają w tym, aby móc wyjechać na studia częściowe, na wymianę, albo żeby podjąć się praktyk bądź pracy podczas studiów. Okay. The next question, if I want to receive a PhD degree, what way should I go? Can I go straight with this course, or do I have to undertake bachelor and master? So
a PhD is like the third step of higher education. So yes, you would have to do a bachelor's and a master's first. PhDs are slightly different to bachelor's and master's courses because you don't apply for a particular course. You basically, what you would do is write a proposal of a particular area of study, and you send that proposal to the university. The university will then take a look at that and decide if they can support you academically with this proposal, and that's when they will then make you an offer for a PhD. So unlike bachelor's and master's where you apply for specific courses, with a PhD you almost kind of make up your own course by sending a proposal to the PhD admissions department for them to then decide whether they can support you on that academically. But yeah, you would have to do a bachelor's and a master's before the PhD.
Okay, thank you. That's true that a PhD is a total different thing than a bachelor or master.
Yeah.
Okay, we are proceeding. What accommodation is available and how much does it cost?
So we have a lot of accommodation. We like I said before, our campus is like a small village, so it's all within 5 or 10 minutes walk from anywhere that you want to be, from your accommodation to the library, the classroom, the cafes, the social areas, the gym. Everything is there in like a small village format. Um, our accommodation is one of the cheapest in the UK, and that is basically because we have so much of it that there's no real competition to drive up the prices. So it starts from around £75 per week, and it goes up to around £109 per week. Obviously, there are different types of accommodation. We have accommodation where you've got like a shared bathroom. We have accommodation with an ensuite, which is slightly more expensive. We have accommodation that's separate apartments if you wanted to live on your own. So there's a variety of different options. I always think it's good for a first year student to have some kind of shared accommodation, whether that's an ensuite shared or a shared bathroom option, just because you get to meet people, and the accommodations have their own social areas in there, so you can start to meet new friends. If you have any preferences with accommodation, for example, you would prefer to live with all female, or you have a particular friend who you're moving here with and you want to be in the same accommodation as them, that's no problem at all. We take that stuff really seriously. Just let us know on your application and we will make that happen for you. Within the price, like I said, starts from £75 per week upwards. Within that price, all your bills are paid for, so water, heating, all the kind of utilities that you would expect, including Wi-Fi. Things that you would have to buy yourself are things like food, bedding, maybe kitchen utensils and things like that. But all the kind of household bills are all included in your accommodation price, and they are fully secure with 24-hour security as well, so there's no worries about safety.
Okay, thank you. Tak, jeszcze Wam powiem pokrótce, jeśli chodzi o Preston. Preston jest jednym z najtańszych miast w UK, więc jeżeli myślicie o tym, ile kasy sobie tak odłożyć na miesiąc przeżycia, to ja zalecałabym jakieś 800 funtów, myślę, że to by wystarczyło. I też jeśli chodzi o accommodation, to tak jak Tom wspomniał, jest bardzo dużo opcji. Można wybrać taki pokój, że dzieli się na przykład kuchnię z kimś, czy łazienkę. Można wybrać pokój wyższej klasy. Generalnie zawsze, jeśli chodzi o zakwaterowanie, pokój ma się samemu, ale można mieć dzielone różne pomieszczenia, na przykład kuchnię czy łazienkę. I ceny bardzo zależą, po prostu dlatego, że w Wielkiej Brytanii zakwaterowania są różne i mają bardzo różne standardy. To jest trochę jak w hotelu, także tak inaczej niż u nas, jeśli chodzi o akademiki. No i tak jak mówiłam, Preston jest jednym z najtańszych miast, także warto się naprawdę zastanowić, dlatego że uniwersytet jest super i też do tego jest dosyć tanio. Okay.
You can actually take a virtual tour, of the accommodation. I'll just post the link. You can have a look at all the different options there and the prices.
Okay, great, thank you. I will also link you several articles about costs of living in the UK. Okay, which companies can I go for a sandwich course?
In terms of
which companies? Which companies?
Oh, okay. So it depends obviously on the subject, but every course and every academic tutor will have industry links depending on which course it is. So the possibilities are really endless with this, because we can obviously support you, and we also have our dedicated careers department that can support you in trying to find different companies to do an internship or your work placement year for. However, there's absolutely nothing that stops you sourcing your own company and finding a company where you would like to work. This isn't just restricted to the UK as well. Sometimes students go abroad to do this year. And like I said, if there's a particular company that you have in mind and you have an existing relationship there, there's no problem with you wanting to do that placement there at that company. I actually sometimes think that's a good thing, because it means it's going to be relevant to the student. However, like I said, if you don't have that, all of our courses have industry links where we can find companies for you.
Okej, thank you. A więc tak jak widzicie, jeśli chodzi o sandwich coursy, to jest bardzo duży wybór różnych firm i można też wybierać ją z taką firmę samemu, gdzie chcielibyście zrobić praktyki i uczelnia pomoże. Okay, we have a next question. I want to ask about living costs. Can I count on help from my university or government? Does grants cover those costs, or work is essential?
It really depends on your personal situation. Everybody's different in terms of how much money they bring with them, how much money they spend every month. I do find that a lot of our European students do work part-time to help fund their studies, but I believe there are grants available as well to help you with day-to-day living. But generally speaking, we do find that quite a lot of our European students work part-time just to help have a bit more of a comfortable experience financially at the university.
Okej, thank you. Tak, odnośnie tego pytania, to koszty, generalnie pożyczka, tak jak wiecie, zapewnia Wam pokrycie kosztu wczesnego. Natomiast jeśli chodzi o taką pracę na studiach, to nie bójcie się, dlatego że wszyscy studenci praktycznie studiują i pracują jednocześnie. Jeśli chodzi o naszych polskich studentów, tak jak mówiłam, studia w Anglii to jest około 15 godzin w tygodniu, więc spokojnie dacie radę te 15 do 20 godzin sobie popracować i zarobić dodatkową kasę. No i też jest pożyczka na studia oczywiście i czasami są dostępne dodatkowe stypendia, ale o to jeszcze zaraz zapytamy. Okay, and are there any scholarships available for Polish students?
Yes, absolutely. So we offer a scholarship called the Merit Scholarship, which is £1,000 per year. That's deducted from the tuition fees. So it's not £1,000 a year in your pocket for living costs. It's deducted from the tuition fees. In order to receive that as an undergraduate, you would need 75% overall in your matura. And as a postgraduate student, so a master's student, you would need a GPA of 4.5, or in the UK, what we would refer to as a first in your undergraduate degree.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just typing that it's possible to get a scholarship if someone has a very, very high grades on the Matura exam.
Yes, 75% overall.
That's great. I'm just typing it out. Okay, and I look through how many questions do we have. Okay, this one we can already answer. Okay, I get conditional offer. Who should I send my results to? Okay, I can answer this question. Jeżeli macie już ofertę conditional, to wtedy trzeba podesłać wyniki matury do uczelni i wtedy to jest do admissions office się wysyła. Można do TOMA bezpośrednio i też będzie spoko, natomiast do admissions office wysyła się wszystkie wyniki już takie, które macie, jeżeli już macie wyniki matury oczywiście. Okay, so this one we have already done. Cały czas możecie pisać pytania. Jeszcze chwilę tu jesteśmy, także jeżeli jakieś pytanie wpadnie, to jak najbardziej można. Okay, we have next question. Can I come and visit the university before I start my course?
Yes, of course. Quite often we receive emails from students who want to visit, and we will give you a tour of the university. Obviously that is personalized to you depending on what subject you want to study. So we will show you the academic facilities and the student facilities. We will introduce you, if we can, to some academic staff that's relevant to you. So maybe a course leader in your subject, or another one of the professors at the university. We will also give you a tour of the accommodation if that's what you want as well. So yeah, we can kind of personalize a campus tour to what you're looking for. Quite often it helps. I know from my point of view, when I was looking at universities many years ago, I visited a few different ones, and it's hard to explain what it is, but you just get this feeling at certain universities that it's either the one for you or it's not. And when I visited UCLAN, it wasn't the first university that I visited, but I went there and I just knew straight away that that was the university for me. So it's quite a good thing to do if you can. We're more than accommodating to you if you do want to do that. And it's also good to check out the city where you're going to live as well. And we can also get you, we can put you in contact with some of our existing international students, and they can give you some advice on how they settled in and what things they like to do in their spare time, and where you can buy home comforts in the supermarkets and things like that.
Okay, thank you. Does UCLAN do interviews during recruitment? If you do I have to come to you, or can it be done online?
It depends on the subject again. Quite often we don't do interviews. It just really depends on what the degree is. Sometimes if the degree requires you to show some kind of portfolio of work, it might come with an interview. But generally speaking, no, we go off your grades and your personal statement and academic references. If your course does require an interview, obviously at the moment it's all being done through things like Zoom and Skype and video links. So don't worry about that. It's not a problem.
Okej. Jeżeli chodzi też o to, co ja mogę Wam podpowiedzieć, to teraz bardzo mało uczelni robi tak, że faktycznie trzeba przyjeżdżać bezpośrednio na uczelnię, żeby wziąć udział w interwiu, w rozmowie rekrutacyjnej. Zwykle to się odbywa online. Jeśli chodzi o wszystkie kierunki artystyczne, czy też takie na przykład typu journalism, TV and broadcasting, tego typu, to zwykle przez Skype'a po prostu odbywa się rozmowa. Czasami też jest tak, że trzeba nagrać jakieś swoje nagranie, jeżeli to są na przykład studia aktorskie i podesłać je, albo swoje prace w portfolio. No i w portfolio to jest zwykle 15-20 prac. Też Wam zaraz podlinkuję informacje odnośnie portfolio. Natomiast wszystko generalnie idzie online. Rzadko kiedy zdarza się tak, że faktycznie trzeba przyjechać. Dlatego, że taką rozmowę bardzo łatwo jest zaaranżować po prostu na Skype'ie i na Skype'ie ją przeprowadzić. Więc wtedy też jest po prostu łatwiej. Okay, so I think we are coming to the end, but we have still several questions. I'm afraid that my English is not good enough for undergraduate program. Are there additional English classes for international students?
Yes, definitely we can give you support with your English. However, quite often students are not very confident with their English, but they underestimate how good they actually are. So quite often it's a worry that students will have, but it's actually not a problem when they arrive. Sometimes it can be an accent thing as well. Obviously my accent being from the north of England is different to somebody from the south of England, but you really get used to that quite quickly. I think one of our Polish students, he actually said that when he arrived, he was wondering if his English would be good enough, but after socializing, because obviously you're in the country maybe 2 weeks before your classes actually start. So because everything's in English for 2 weeks, you actually just start to forget that that's a problem, and you actually become a lot more confident with your English. But if you do want support with English, there are classes available, and we are definitely here to support you with that, because we understand that you're being taught in a language that isn't yours. And sometimes as well, the academic English can be slightly different in terms of the difficulty. When you're writing your essays and things like that, we can give you support with that as well. All of our tutors and professors are very experienced in dealing with students from everywhere in the world. So I really wouldn't worry about that. As long as you have That's why the entry requirements are there. So if you've met the entry requirements, that just proves that your English is good enough.
Okay, thank you. Dobrze, słuchajcie, jeżeli chodzi właśnie o angielski, to tak jeszcze ja dopowiem trochę, że to jest bardzo częste uczucie, że taka osoba, która wyjeżdża na studia, wydaje się na początku, że nie będzie umiała się dobrze porozumieć, ale to jest błędne, dlatego że wyjeżdżacie do Anglii, jesteście tam w takiej metodzie immersji, że po prostu musicie się zanurzyć w tym języku i to jest też bardzo fajne, dlatego że po prostu od razu trzeba mówić i rozumieć i naprawdę szybko po prostu wyłapiecie to wszystko. Mimo tego, że na początku może się wydawać, że to będzie trudne, że to będzie duże wyzwanie, to wszyscy nasi aplikanci powtarzają, że to jest kwestia kilku miesięcy, żeby po prostu się przyzwyczaić, a potem to już idzie dużo, dużo prościej i też uczelnia pomaga, są dodatkowe kursy z angielskiego, też myślę, że poznacie dużo znajomych z Anglii, także rozmawiając z nimi, poznając ich też będziecie mogli ćwiczyć język. I podlinkowałam Wam informacje o portfolio, więc można sobie zobaczyć. Jeszcze jeśli chodzi o naszego Facebooka, to już wstawiałam. Od niedawna mamy TikToka, to od razu Wam też puszczę. To jest globedu.pl nasz TikTok i też na czacie Wam wpisuję, także proszę bardzo. Okay, Tom, would you like to add anything more?
No, I think we've covered everything there. I just obviously would like to say thank you to you guys, Global Education, for having us today, and thank you to everybody who's took the time to listen and send in questions. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to send them over to us. We're more than happy to help. And yeah, just wish everybody the best of luck.
Okej, dobrze. Jeżeli macie jeszcze jakieś pytania, to na czacie ewentualnie można jeszcze szybko zadać. Będziemy parę minut. Natomiast chciałam Wam podziękować, że dzisiaj jesteście z nami na webinarze. Tak jak mówiłam, jeżeli jeszcze ktoś nie zaaplikował, to nasza pomoc jest w pełni darmowa. Też nie podpisujemy żadnych umów, ale pomagamy na bardzo, bardzo dużo uczelni w Wielkiej Brytanii. Możecie nas też śledzić na wszystkich social media, jesteśmy i aktywnie tam działamy. Także jak najbardziej można. No i już jeśli chodzi o deadline, to najbliższy deadline to 30 czerwca. Do 15 czerwca zbieramy wszystkie listy motywacyjne i referencje, także jeżeli ktoś jeszcze nie złożył podania, to już zachęcam, żeby po prostu szybciej się decydować. Jeżeli macie jakieś pytania odnośnie listu motywacyjnego czy referencji, czy jakiekolwiek inne odnośnie studiów, to jak najbardziej można do nas pisać na info@globedu.pl. Jeszcze napiszę Wam naszego maila, jeżeli byłaby to dla kogoś nowość, to proszę bardzo. info@globedu.pl. Na tego maila można pisać.
One thing I will say, sorry, just before we go, if people do want to read the student testimonials that we've done, I think there's 3 Polish students. They can just go to our website, click on international, click on student testimonials, and they can read their experiences.
Yeah, that's true. We know because several students are from global education. For example, Agnieszka and Nela that you put on the presentation.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we also did a webinar together. So
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's really wonderful if students are happy and they really appreciate these studies.
Yeah, they're great people.
Okej. Dobrze, to dziękuję w takim razie wszystkim i nasz webinar myślę, że już w tym momencie kończymy. Będzie live na YouTube, jest live na YouTube, także też będzie zapisany nasz webinar. Okay, our webinar is live now on YouTube, so it will be also in YouTube then afterwards, after the webinar. Okay, thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So this
Goodbye.
is the end. Goodbye.